Will the Dalai Lama name his successor at the end of this week? Ahead of his 90th birthday, the Dalai Lama's followers and many people around the world wait for the spiritual leader to share details about his succession. A move that is widely expected to antagonize China. The Dalai Lama fled Tibet in 1959 after a failed uprising against Chinese rule, and since then he has lived in exile in India's Dharamshala. China considers him a separatist and insists that only it can choose his successor. However, the Dalai Lama has made it clear that his successor will be born outside China. In fact, he has urged his followers to reject anyone chosen by China. In Tibetan Buddhism, spiritual leaders are believed to be reborn after death. The current Dalai Lama, the 14th, was identified when he was just 2 years old. And now, as he turns 90, the Dalai Lama is reportedly consulting senior Buddhist monks and others to help identify where his next incarnation could appear. At a major 3-day gathering of Buddhist religious figures this week, in fact, on Monday, he addressed his followers and said that he would continue to serve others for the rest of his life.
The rest of my life I will dedicate for the benefit of others as much as possible, as extensive as possible. There will be some kind of a framework within which we can talk about the continuation of the institution of the Dalai Lamas.
The Dalai Lama has earlier suggested that his next birth could be in India. And these remarks challenge China's position that any reincarnation must take place within Chinese borders and follow Chinese laws, and that only Chinese leaders have the right to approve the Dalai Lama's successor. In March, a Chinese foreign ministry spokesperson said the Dalai Lama was a political exile with no right to represent the Tibetan people at all. Chinese officials refer to an 18th century imperial tradition from the Qing dynasty that gives them the right to approve reincarnations. Many Tibetans reportedly see this as a political move to control their fate and future.
While a Lama is still alive, there won't be any talk about his reincarnation. That talk only comes when that Lama passes away. But in this time, the discussion is coming mainly because the Chinese government is interfering in the reincarnation of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. That's why the discussion is coming up regarding his reincarnation. Otherwise, there won't be any discussion as long as the Dalai Lama is still alive.
This week's religious meeting, the first since 2019, is expected to draw over 100 Tibetan Buddhist leaders. The Dalai Lama is also expected to attend a prayer event on July 5 and take part in his birthday celebration on July 6. Exiled Tibetans have mixed emotions as they prepare to mark the Dalai Lama's 90th birthday.
Grateful that I'm, having this opportunity to celebrate His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama in here, and also wishing and hoping that he would live a long life.
All the people of Tibet feel very anxious due to his old age. But as he have already 90 years old, so we are very feeling both auspicious and also very sad to celebrate His Holiness.
Officials from the Tibetan government in exile say they already have a process in place to continue political work if the Dalai Lama passes away. A foundation set up in 2015 by the Dalai Lama is expected to lead the search for his successor.
Worried about these procedures, but rather about what will happen in the future with the Tibetan causes. But yes, we are worried. The big storm is coming, but for that, we are not escaping from that. We have dealt for the centuries, and we will deal with that.
Back in 2011, the Dalai Lama stepped down from his political role and handed to an elected government, ending a 368-year-old tradition of being both spiritual and temporal head of Tibetans. The world now watches on to see if the Dalai Lama will reveal the next chapter of his legacy, one that could directly challenge China's authority and define Tibet's future. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.